my name is Sydney Foss, and I'm currently a senior majoring in psychology with concentration in development. This semester, I participated in Oscar's USRP program, where I've been studying at what age children start being able to use deductive reasoning, specifically through the use of syllogisms. So, if I were to say something like, all cows quack, Susie is a cow, does Susie quack? You most likely respond with yes, and if I were to ask you why, you might say something like, because it follows the premises, or because you said so. This is an example of a syllogism. Syllogisms are a form of reasoning where a conclusion is drawn from a set of premises. If you were to ask a young child the same thing, they would respond with no instead of yes. This is because they are basing their conclusions off of past experience instead of what is in the syllogism itself. They haven't seen a cow quack, so how could that be true? But could there be a way that children would reach the correct response? In 1988, researchers Harris and Diaz sought out to find just that. What happens if you change the context around the syllogism? They found that by putting the syllogism in the play context, by saying, pretend I'm on another planet beforehand, children were more likely to give the correct response. But is this because the play context helps with deductive reasoning, or because of something else? My project investigates whether in the play context, children are more likely to base their answers on the information given, even when the information is not logically correct. Additionally, it acts as a replication study to balance out the play and series conditions, which in the original work were unbalanced in representation. We are planning on having children aged 4 to 5 come into the lab space and hear 8 different syllogisms in the play or series context. Additionally, we are using 2 different types of syllogisms that afford different inferences. The first is Modge's ponens, which should look a little familiar. This is, all cows quack, Susie is a cow, does Susie quack? Saying yes is the correct deductive inference. The second is affirming the consequent. For example, all cows quack, Susie quacks. Is Susie a cow? Saying yes is the incorrect inference. A key question is whether children will be more likely to answer yes to this last type of syllogism in the play context versus the series context, or whether they will instead be more likely to realize it doesn't logically follow from the premises. If they are more likely to say yes in the play context, it could suggest that the play context encourages simply responding in terms of the information provided, as opposed to deductive reasoning, since yes is the incorrect answer to this reasoning type. Another way we are testing children's reasoning is by taking the Modge's ponens statement and having the answer be no. For example, all cows quack, Susie is a cow, does Susie moo? Saying no is the correct deductive inference here. After each yes or no response, children will be asked for a justification. Why did you say yes, or why did you say no? We want to know the reasoning behind their answers. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we have made it so that the inferences will be said in a video format and a researcher will ask the questions. This is so that children can see the mouth movements and not question that they are just hearing things incorrectly. We predict that children will be more likely to draw valid conclusions from the Modge's ponens syllogisms in the play context versus the series context, but they will also draw more invalid conclusions from the affirming the consequent syllogisms. We also expect that they will use similar justifications across Modge's ponens and affirming the consequent syllogisms. I would like to thank my mentor Sabine Doble, my lab manager Nicole Stuckey, Oscar for giving me this opportunity, and all of you for watching.